Welcome to the Emotional Balance Sheet, the go-to podcast for parents with multiple kids, especially those with twins, triplets, or more, who are navigating the maze of modern family life and personal finance. Whether you're overwhelmed by education or retirement planning, parenting dilemmas, career transitions, or trying to define your purpose and plan, we're here to guide you with empathy, encouragement, and expertise. Hosted by Paul Fenner, founder of Tama Capital, a certified financial planner and parent to 4 kids, including a set of triplets. Our podcast is your ally in the quest for financial peace of mind, proving that money matters, but family comes first. Subscribe now and join our community of empowered parents at tamacapital.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Clients of Tama may retain positions in the securities discussed in this podcast.
What does comprehensive financial planning even mean? At Tama Capital, it means a family office where lifestyle planning such as retirement, college, portfolio management, and tax prep and planning are all under one umbrella. But it goes beyond numbers. We focus as much on the emotional side of financial planning as we do on the financial side. We get you. We understand your challenges of building a family, business or career, and a healthy life. We are devoted to wealth planning for families like yours because we are you. Learn how our family can help your family by visiting tamacapital.com. Hi, and welcome back. It's graduation season. So whether you're graduating from college or high school, congratulations. I know a few of you. So one of the most, I think, famous commencement speeches ever was given by Steve Jobs. I think it was 2005 at Stanford. And the main point that gets sucked out of that speech was to follow your passion. And I've had lots of guests on this show over the past almost 3 years talking about that very subject, about follow your passion. And I think how wrong I believe it is. And I've always been a proponent of following what you like to do that someone will pay you for. Because you can follow your passion all you want, but that doesn't mean you're going to get paid. So I wanted to start with that bit of information first. And I'll probably put Steve Jobs' commencement speech in the show notes if you want to take a look at it. But as you well know, I am a huge Morgan Housel fan. Morgan, I think, is one of the most prolific writers of our time. Some of you may or may not know of him. I read his work on a weekly basis. And I'm actually working on a book about Morgan and his work. And so today I wanted to share with you an article that Morgan had written about advice for graduates. And it's so good that I'm just going to read his work and his points, and I'll sprinkle in a few thoughts of my own. So let's get started. If a company didn't hire you because your SAT scores were not good enough, don't feel bad. Be relieved. A company that short-sighted is probably a miserable place to work anyway. Number 2, once you're hired, no one cares where you went to school. They care about whether you're pleasant to work with, whether you're good at your job, and whether you make them feel good about themselves. In that order. Number 3, be totally honest in job interviews. Embrace reality if you're not a good fit. I think this is one point in particular that we could all use. I know that it's certainly something that I've had to adjust to in my firm, Tama, with the families I work with, and realizing not everyone's a good fit. And I think this advice is probably not told enough when people are interviewing for jobs. You're interviewing that company just as much as they're interviewing you. I've had multiple conversations with Carrie Chauchet, who's our resident career expert on the show, and I'll link to her information as well. Next point. Don't feel bad about changing careers. The odds that you have your life figured out at age 22 or less are barely higher than at any other age. And I have to chuckle at this one because I think I changed majors in college like 4 or 5 times. And my kids ask me this all the time, especially my daughter, Madison. She's like, Dad, what did you go to school for? You didn't go to school for financial planning. I'm like, nope. I was in accounting. I was an architect. I was in engineering. You name it. But when I look back at what I wanted to do when I was 13, it was this. It just took me 30 years to find my path along the way. Next point. Get comfortable with the idea that some of what you were taught in school doesn't apply to the real world. You'll have to unlearn some things. I think nothing teaches experience than doing. I think that's a good one to go along with that. Next one. This is a good one, especially for parents currently. A long commute will ruin your life. There are only so many good podcasts, like the Emotional Balance Sheet, that can support your sanity through rush hour. Speaking full disclosure, having a spouse that has a over an hour commute one way is not fun. So the college graduates, high school graduates, really college graduates I'm speaking to, keep this in mind. And there's stats on this where every, 30 minutes in your commute drags down your happiness level by a factor of X. It's a big deal. Next point. A strict office dress code is your first signs that you are about to be stuck. Next, people get accustomed to their income, but the misery of an awful workplace and long hours are enduring. Next, don't suck up to your boss. They can smell your insincerity from a mile away. Impress them with good. Realize that a pound of emotional intelligence is worth a ton of book intelligence. I love this next one. Say, I don't know when you don't know. I think that one bears repeating. Say, I don't know when you don't know. Next from Morgan. Live in a big city at least once and not one you grew up in. As someone that lived in 5 states, moved 10 times, I think, in the first 14 years of my career, I can attest to that one. Realize that some things you're certain are true are either wrong or incomplete. I think that goes back to an earlier point, is you're going to have to unlearn some things that you learned in college. Realize that your youth is the biggest investment asset you have. You probably have 40 years in front of you to invest. Warren Buffett could not dream about that kind of an advantage. Change your mind when the facts change. That's a good one. Avoid people that don't. You're under no obligation to have an opinion about anything. Sometimes, put another way, the best thing is just keeping your mouth shut. You have a strict obligation to not have an opinion about things you don't understand. Get over the idea that because you're done with college doesn't mean you're done learning. You've just begun. I think I have read more books post undergrad and definitely post grad school than I ever read during my college years combined. Next, don't complain about your student loans. You took them out. Nothing you can do about it now. Figure out the most practical way to pay them off as soon as possible. Learn Excel. I don't know why more schools don't emphasize this. You'll use it in most jobs and will make your life easier. Even in the land of AI. That was my bit. Don't argue politics with anyone. It's a waste of time. The odds you'll change someone else's mind are the same that they will change yours. Realize that rational people can disagree. Don't make big decisions when you're emotional. The odds that you'll regret them approach 100%. And the last one from Morgan, realize that everyone's point of view is a product of the people they've met and the experiences they've had in life, most of which are out of their control. This includes yourself. Again, for all those graduates, college or high school, congrats, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Now that you've made it to the end of another great conversation, are you looking for more? If so, head over to tamacapital.com, where you will find all of our conversations. Use the search feature to find the topic or guest you would love to learn more about. Also, don't forget to make someone else's day by sharing our show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.